What's up, dirt people? Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming back. We picked up the Raptor again about last week from Evan Weller Racing, I think about a week before this, and I've been street testing it, just testing the third member modifications that they had to do, some baffles. I'll get more into that later, and I'll give you guys a cold start in a second so you know what it's like to be my neighbor. But more importantly, that falls into the subject because I'm going to take you guys on my daily morning drive just to talk to you about how livable a build to this scale can be. Downsides, upsides, all that stuff. So let's get into it. Raptor Dream Build. Is it worth it? And am I crazy? So now driving. As soon as this light turns green, it's gonna get loud. And I came late to work just so it could be daylight to record this for you guys. I got the puppy right here, so excuse the bad shots. I'm just gonna tell you what it's like driving this because the truck's not done yet. It's an automatic right now. I'm not doing the manual paddles. It's awesome with the manual paddles. It's even louder. I'm just gonna have to yell over the noise. I put insulation all inside, everything. I got videos on all that. But the door panels still need to go in, so it'll get quieter, hopefully. The rear seats need to go in, it'll get quieter. It was off at Evan's shop to get the rear end fixed. It seemed like it was a design flaw, so the version 2.0 would be better, the rear diff from Battleborn. But whatever, that's the problem with one-offs. You kind of don't get it right on the first time, and that's the problem with taking your trucks to a fabricator. They might not get it right the first time. Even though it's awesome, it might need some redesign. So know that before going in. Knowing what I know now, I wouldn't do anything more than a mid-travel build on a truck. And if you want more than that, I would stick to a toy. I wouldn't try to realize the dream. It can be worth it, but the time is not worth it. This truck's been 4 or 5 years being built. It's a 2017 Gen 2 Raptor. I took it to Robbie Woods with just shy of 17,000 miles. So it had 16,000 something, so it's pretty bad. You see all my check engine lights on. That's because all my sensors aren't hooked up yet. It's gonna go back to Westside Off-Road Groups. James is gonna get it and finish hooking up some of my sensors, and then eventually probably my first go-to will be gas. Tommy at Galpin, to try to get some of the sensors fixed and everything so we could have all the driver amenities back. It's got custom hubs for the wheel speed sensors, all that stuff. We went out of our way to make this all back to a Raptor, just because people are always going to say, why'd you do this to a Raptor? You should just cut up an F-150. And they're right, but it's my wallet, so they can pound sand. Part of keeping in step with that usability, that drivability, whatever, we made it a daily driver. We kept a bed in the back, which is one of a kind. No truck like this has a usable bed in the back. I could put quads in the back, dirt bikes, a snowmobile, whatever I want, Home Depot runs. But on the streets, I don't know if you check out my mirrors, look, I got plenty of room on that side. I got plenty of room on this side. I took it for a grocery run on Saturday or Sunday, actually, yesterday. So, and it fit fine. I was able to go. The thing is, how we were having, oh, look, this guy doesn't want to let me in, whatever. Since we had trouble with the rear end, I had an air locker in it for the street, so I could turn and everything, but how we're figuring it out, it was burning up the oil too fast. Baffles and all that, I won't get too technical with you guys, but the oil throw was off. So just to isolate the variables, the guys, Evan and AJ, turned it into a spool locker. So everywhere I turn, it's just squeaking tires. The steering got even harder. The steering could use some upgrade too. But whatever, I'll live with that. So like I said, we're just gonna eliminate the variable and then go back to an air locker. The reason, guys, the reason race shops or whatever, anyone who builds trucks like this doesn't want an air locker and everyone goes to spool locker, it's because it's simpler design, it's more rugged, it'll last longer. So if I go with an air locker, it'll be a consumable part, but if I can get 40, 50,000 miles out of it, it's worth it. If I can only get 10, it's not worth it. But we have the ZR2 now, so we have a big full-size truck that can off-road if we need it. Speaking of that, as far as how it compares something that's like this with the linked rear end, I mentioned in a few videos. So this is a full link. It's got all the trailing arms are adjustable, everything, but everything has to be relocated. All your lines, your fuel cells, all it just turns into a giant project. You have to halfback it, and then you have links of other manufacturers like Jeeps and G-Wagons, those 5 links and stuff. And you guys know the dinosaur class, that's all linked right now. The geometry on those are better, much better as far as what it can do with those numbers and how it could still handle. What's up with this Prius driver? So the ZR2 falls into that conversation because it's still got a leaf suspension in the rear, tuned to the DSSV shocks. So a lot of people are wondering like where the in-between is. There's another in-between. This build, and this is what I recommend. Robbie mentioned it to me. It's a Watts link. Go ahead and look it up online. You're not gonna find much information on it. That's what he told me. He affectionately calls, some people call it a W link. He calls it a Woods link. And that's what, there's another vehicle. Hopefully I can get you guys, I can get the cameras on it, but no promises, and I can't really tease it. That's what we should have built. It's got the Watts link. It's far superior than what the Raptor has or the Ram TRX. And you could keep your fuel cell, you keep all that. I don't know why more people don't do it, but that's what we should have done here. So that's like mid-travel plus, pretty much. It's on the line of long travel. And I'm using mid-travel in the sense of how you guys use it, of builds. Everything's a long travel until something else comes along better, and then it's a mid-travel. All mid-travel really has to do with fenders. It has zero to do with suspension numbers. So that's how I'm using it, just that the Watts link would be like right on the border of full travel, but a long travel. But it technically, whatever, that's too deep. So all that being said, all I can really do is put more testing miles on it, keep an eye on the temperature in the rear diff, and really just put more miles on it until it goes back to West Side Off-Road Group. The interior's been ready. Everything just needs to be slapped on, but it's been stuck at the shop with the rear end, working on the rear end. So yeah, I still have the brake line messed up. It still needs a lot of little things, but it's pretty much done. It just needs to get slapped together for the last time, and we could have gone and tested it and everything, but we had plans. So we will get you dirt videos, of course. That's why we built this thing, and we haven't done videos because it takes so long. But I'm doing this one for you guys because it's finally gonna be ready. And you guys, the wrap, of course, by Wrap Legacy. I'll give you guys a complete breakdown, every piece on this, from the suspension to the way it was built, to the painting, the wrap, the shocks that were built for it, that were spec'd out for it, the front hood from Macmillan Racing. Hate to interrupt, but I misspoke. It's McNeil Racing. It's their actual racing fiberglass setup. Because Robbie Woods extended the front end to fit 40s, it's slapped right on, and then you could open this with one hand. And then what West Side Off-Road Group did to it to be a one piece. Every piece of work on this truck is kind of a reference piece for the industry as far as what you can do or what's different, or just something that nobody else does and is not on every truck, but is an idea beyond the current idea. That's saying a lot because it took 4 or 5 years to build, and this truck's still there. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a great performance truck and a great show truck at the same time, which no one really does, right? I mean, you have SEMA builds and then you have dirt builds, but it's not gonna be a trailer queen either, like I said. But since we have the trailer, we are gonna be, but we can drive to wherever we want. It's got the biggest seats in the industry, so it could be a comfortable daily driver, all of that. So it's gonna get super loud as soon as we get on the freeway, so I'm gonna have to cut this short right now. Really quick, check out this corner right here. So I got this, you dumb Tesla. It's got a front sway bar in the suspension. Part of what I was telling you, that it's a super custom build. It drives more like a rally vehicle than a trophy truck. But I take this corner better than this Tesla, but I wouldn't compare myself with that driver. This is how it sounds just coasting. So it's not too loud, but you do have to raise your voice to have a conversation in the cab. The volume is at full max also. It's just a podcast, I didn't want any copyright. But it can get too loud in here, so I can't wait for the interior to go back in. And yeah, until next time, I mean, keep buying your trucks, keep playing with your trucks, keep enjoying them, keep building your trucks, be realistic about your budget, as you'll find out about this one later. And of course, keep it dirty.